Steve, what did a win do for this program confidence-wise?
Boosted it through the roof. It just, built up the fire that we had. We got out of the rough patch that we were in, and now everyone's, fired up, taking Missouri State more serious than ever. And I think it just set up the mind frame to just go out there and do exactly what we did Saturday, play team football in all three phases.
Coach says the approach, doesn't change. Can you just talk about that a little bit? I mean, there was a valley there a little bit, just how the approach hasn't changed.
Yeah, the approach hasn't changed. If anything, we've actually practiced more physical. Made sure guys understood that just because it's getting longer into the season, November we actually need to perform more. We need to practice harder and make sure everyone stays fundamentally sound. So the approach, like Coach says, hasn't changed, but I think like I said, the mindset, it has become more focused and everyone more on the same page, understanding that there's a urge to win out and make the best effort that we can to get into the playoffs.
A lot has been made of the pass defense. You guys, I think, are tops in the nation, and I think it's obvious from watching the games that the play up front has played a big role in that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of progress do you think you guys have made up front, and why do you think you're playing as well as you have as of late?
Just understanding the reason or the method behind the madness of why we play a certain way. If you look, some of our stats weren't maybe, our linebackers led in tackling. Lee Wright had 13 tackles. And, I think that's a tip to, us up front holding off those, big O linemen that they had and letting him go free and make the tackles and make the plays that, he was where he needed to be, which was, a good for him. But, just being able to work together and understand, even though we might not be getting all the tackles, we're also working towards as a team defense, and understanding that and being okay with that. I think understanding it is one thing, but also, being, motivated to even still, maybe not get your name not in the paper or whatever, but, playing the way Coach is telling us and coaching us to play.
Steve, Missouri State's obviously struggled this year. How important is it for you to let everybody know you can't look past this team and how important this game is?
The fact that we have to win out, and getting this win just at Missouri or Western Illinois, that was the first thing the senior leader, Kentrell Disher, said right as we were, celebrating in the locker room, is that, listen, this doesn't stop here, and we need to take another step this week in practice. And we didn't waste any time in making sure everyone was focused right in the locker room as we exited the field at Western Hill.
Steve, in the past couple of years, November's been troubled, and we found out later it's because players were tired, maybe, with all due respect, overworked early in the season. Do you guys feel good about yourself physically?
Yeah, I feel fresh more than ever after this game. Personally speaking, I felt great Sunday. I went and got a great lift in. Yesterday I went and worked with Derek Rivers and got some field work in and worked in the gym. And I think it's just the schedule that we're on this year. It's a little different than what we've done in the past. And, just taking care of us on Sundays. Coach he got us a new meal for Sunday just to make sure that we were fed. And, keeping the football players' bellies full also puts a smile on our face. So.
What do you see from Missouri State? I know that you look at the final score and they haven't been, pretty, but what do they do well? What concerns do you have with them?
Even though the score doesn't show, it looks like they still fight. Just to go out there every week, especially in a rough season like that. When I was getting recruited here, Youngstown State, when Wolf had his first season here, he was having rough times, and it was hard to get guys motivated just to go out there Saturday and try to give their best. So on film, even though the score doesn't show that, I respect them and the effort that they give out there on the field, and that's why we aren't taking them lightly at all.
2 weeks on the road in the state of Illinois, you're back home, just playing back home.
Western Hill, we had playing some more rain, so I swear I've never said that so much in a season, but it is nice coming back home, and bringing that win before we come back home. Hopefully, we get the awesome fan base that we're used to. It really made us appreciate, the fans that we play in front of after the game on Saturday, because we had nobody out there. And Coach Carl joked about how electrifying it was out there, but that's, Another big thing that we did well, I thought, on Saturday is just, even though the setting was there like that and it was dead, we still rose to the occasion when adversity was bad, against us and faced us in the face. We overcame that, and it really helped.
What's this defense is, from a numbers perspective and from the eyeball test, it looks like one of the better defenses I've seen at YSU probably since the last time they made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's been different about this group than maybe in years past?
I would say everything's broken down. Even though when we have struggled even a little bit that we have this year, we look at all the film and we look at every play with a critical eye, and we look at it how everything can be better. Even when we watch film on Sunday, as a D-line speaking, when I was in the room, even though we played well up front, there are still things that we can fix, and they never, they commend us when we do well, but they also critique us when we, can improve. And that's been, a reoccurring thing that we've done every week is just consistently get better and get better and get better and develop even some of the younger guys. Savon Smith, he played a great game Saturday for when he was called upon, especially on that fourth down stand. And, that's a true freshman coming in out of Syracuse, New York. And I was really proud of the way he stepped up and played hard for us up front, bringing in an extra D lineman. So, just accountability has been a lot higher, and just the coaching game plan has been a lot easier to understand and execute on Saturdays.